Modern interrogation techniques have taken a dramatic turn in recent decades. Instead of relying on fear, intimidation, or physical force, modern approaches focus on psychology, build rapport, reading behavior, and asking strategic, well-timed questions. This is a major shift because these methods respect the human element and tend to produce far more reliable results. Research consistently shows when people feel they're being listened to and not simply cornered, they're more likely to share truthful, detailed information. It's not about letting people off the hook, it's about uncovering the truth a way that stands up in court, avoids false confessions, and improves overall security outcomes. What makes this topic so compelling is that it challenges the old assumption that tougher is better. In reality, effectiveness and ethics work best together. Modern psychological methods prove we can protect human rights while still getting the answers we need. Even with all the research supporting these newer methods, the interrogation debate hasn't gone away. Some continue to argue that the tough, aggressive techniques are necessary when the stakes are high, such as dealing with dangerous suspects or preventing imminent threats. Their concern is that new methods relying on trust and subtle psychological influence might be too slow or too soft when time is critical. On the other side, advocates for rapport-based and cognitive interviewing point to studies showing these new approaches outperform traditional pressure-based tactics in both the amount and the accuracy of information collected. The main controversy lies in the balance between efficiency and ethics, and deciding what level of manipulation, even non-physical, is morally acceptable. This makes the issue worth exploring because it touches law enforcement policy, national security strategy, and human rights law. It forces societies to decide not only what works, but what's right. For much recorded history, interrogations leaned heavily on force, intimidation, and sometimes outright torture. From medieval dungeons to early 20th century police third-degree tactics, the emphasis was on breaking a person's will, physically or psychologically. These methods did sometimes produce information, but often questionable reliability, as suspects would say anything to stop the pain. Major public scandals, such as revelations around enhanced interrogation techniques used in early 2000s counterterrorism operations, exposed just how flawed such approaches could be. Not only did they often lead to false or misleading intelligence, but they also carried severe political and legal consequences. This history set the stage for a movement toward interrogations that avoid coercion, respect individual rights, and focus on accurate results. In many ways, these new methods emerged as both a scientific and a moral reaction to the failures of the past. With failures of coercive methods increasingly visible, psychologists, criminologists, and law enforcement agencies began studying effective questioning scientifically. The result? A strong body of evidence showing that non-confrontational techniques work better in most cases. Methods such as the PEACE model used in the UK in cognitive interviewing are now grounded in neuroscience, memory research, and behavioral analysis. They aim to support memory recall, reduce anxiety, and build enough trust that people will provide information voluntarily, even if it's incriminating. Studies comparing these approaches to traditional confrontational interviews show a higher yield of accurate, verifiable details. The key is that subjects don't feel trapped. Instead, they feel understood, which engages a more cooperative part of human behavior. This isn't about being soft. It's about understanding how the mind works and designing interviews that produce the best possible information without crossing ethical lines. Today, many agencies worldwide have replaced older, adversarial approaches with methods that meet both ethical and operational standards. Interrogators are trained not only in questioning techniques, but also in law, human rights conventions, and cultural awareness. These changes were driven by the need to protect the credibility of investigations and avoid consequences of unethical practices, such as overturned convictions, damaged reputations, and international condemnation. In an age of instant communication and public scrutiny, agencies cannot afford to be seen as violating rights, even in pursuit of vital intelligence. Modern frameworks, like those endorsed by the high-value detainee interrogation group, prioritize accuracy, voluntariness, and legal compliance. They show that effective intelligence work doesn't require abuse or intimidation. It requires skill, patience, and a deep understanding of human behavior. This aligns interrogation practice with broader social and legal values, making it both more acceptable and more sustainable. When the data, history, and ethics are all considered, one conclusion keeps emerging. modern interrogation methods grounded in psychology are both more effective and more ethical than the traditional high-pressure approach. They give us information that stands up in court, preserves the rights of those questions, and protect the legitimacy of the institutions that use them. In a world facing increasingly complex threats, relying on proven, humane methods isn't just an ethical choice, but it's a practical necessity. The way we interrogate reflects our values as much as it affects our safety. By choosing techniques that combine effectiveness with respect, we send a clear message about who we are while also ensuring we get just the truth.